Hello students. Today we are back for our class 10th English class. We are going to do Dust of Snow by Robert Frost and I'm Jhuma Chanda Ghosh teaching you this poem. Now, Dust of Snow by Robert Frost is in continuation with Fire and Ice that we did in our previous class. A little about the poet, Robert Frost. He was born on March 26, 1874 and he departed for his heavenly abode on January 29, 1963, something that we have discussed earlier. He was an American poet. And just like Fire and Ice, Dust of Snow is a simple and short poem, yet with a deeper and larger meaning. Let's read the poem once. The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree, has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. Now, this is a simple act, a very simple poem, and a simple act has been described in this poem. What is the simple act? The poet was passing from under a tree, he was going somewhere, and suddenly, and he was unhappy. Okay, he was not happy about something, he was depressed, he was in dejection, and suddenly he found some snow sprinkled on his sleeve. Where did the snow come from? There was a crow perched on that snow-laden hemlock tree, must have flapped its wings and must have moved a bit, because of which some of the snow was shaken off and it landed on the poet, which made him happy. This simple act of having experiencing snow on his sleeve or on himself brightened his day. He was so happy that all his dejection, all his sadness just flew off. Now, let's quickly look at the symbols. You might say, ma'am, why crow? Why not a nightingale or a lark? I mean, poets all around the world have written such beautiful things about birds, such beautiful birds, and they are definitely better birds than crow. Keats has written Ode to a Nightingale and Ode to a Skylark, and there are so many other birds that have been talked about that have been muses to poets. Crow, on the other hand, is a black, dark creature, a symbol of foreboding and fear, darkness, unknown. It's a symbol of mysterious mystery. So why crow? Okay, this is and then he again uses he doesn't use pine tree or oak tree or uh, uh, such trees, maple trees, trees which are beautiful, trees which are of use to someone. No, he doesn't talk about these trees. He chooses hemlock tree instead. Hemlock, my dear students, is a kind of a poison. Hemlock tree is supposed to be poisonous. In fact, hemlock was the poison that was used to kill Socrates. So, hemlock is a poisonous tree. Now, in the very first stanza, we see two symbols that are associated with death and fear, crow and hemlock tree. So, generally, the poets talk about more beautiful birds and trees, but here, the poet wanted to symbolize dejection, depression, sadness, regret. That's why he has used these images. He basically wants to symbolize the state of his mind. He was not happy. So that's why he has used these images. The mood is really dark and intense in the beginning. What, the third symbol used in this poem is snow particles. What are snow particles? Snow particles is the dust from the title Dust of Snow. What is dust? Dust are these snow particles. Now, snow particles are a mood changer. The moment they touch the poet, he becomes happy, he becomes brightened up, he's ready for the day. He also here shows how a simple act can have bigger, deeper consequences. It was a small act, and it's ironical that a crow did that because crows again are generally associated with fear and darkness and death. So one doesn't expect, especially in the Western world, one doesn't expect a crow to do a good thing. And here we are, wherein a crow shook off some snow that landed on the poet, and it made him happy. So it's ironic that the crow did a good job. So irony is also a poetic device used here. So we see symbol of evil are crow, symbols of evil are crow and hemlock tree, whereas symbol of good is snow particles, because they made what's the good that they have done? They made the poet happy. Thus, the poet contrasts the feeling of foreboding and regret with pure joy as he experiences the sprinkling of snow particles on himself, which has been caused by the movement of a crow that was perched on the snow laden hemlock tree. See, look at the last four lines. has given my heart a change of mood, which basically means that his mood was not good initially, right? The mood that has been set up for us by the use of the symbols like crow and hemlock tree basically tells us that the mood was not good, but a change of mood has happened because of the snow particles, and saved some part of a day I had rued. R-U-E-D, rued. Rued means regretted. So he was regretting this day. Something very bad must have happened. So he was regretting this day, but now, because thanks to the crow who had shed some snow particles on the poet, he is happy. See, generally hemlock tree and crow are used for negative references, but the poet used them beautifully to portray that inauspicious things can bring joy and happiness too. One must not take things for granted and should be open and accept whichever way the nature chooses to bless us. Next, we have already discussed this theme, that simple and small things can have deeper and larger significances. In this case, a simple act of shedding some snow, which the crow did, was a simple act of kindness, and the poet experiencing it changed his mood. Also, the second thing is communication between humans and nature. In this case, the nature comprises of, tell me, can anyone? Okay, it's between the nature here comprises of the crow, the hemlock tree, and the snow particles. Together, they have made the poet happy. Next, let's look at the rhyme scheme quickly. Here in the poem, always concentrate on the last words to find out the rhyming scheme. Crow, me, snow, tree, heart, mood, part, root. Now, crow and snow rhyme, so A. Me and tree rhyme, so B. Heart and part rhyme, so C. And mood and root rhyme, so D. Thus, the rhyming scheme that comes out is A B A B C D C D. Let's quickly look at the literary devices that we have here. Repetition of consonant sounds in the beginning of adjacently or nearby placed words is called alliteration. For example, has given my heart, has heart, ha ha, sound alliteration. Similarly, and saved some part, saved some, sir, alliteration. Remember, these are consonant sounds, that is why it's alliteration. The prominence of a vowel sound throughout a line. So this is in contrast to alliteration. When consonant sounds are repeated, then it's alliteration. When vowel sounds are repeated, it's called assonance. So shook down on me, O sound is prominent, so that's assonance. Third, this we have already discussed. The crow doing a good deed is ironical because generally crows are not associated with something good. So they are associated with death and fear. So the crow has done something because of which the poet became happy. So irony. Finally, enjambment, which is present in every poem almost. When a particular idea originating in a particular line doesn't end there but moves on to the next line without the use of a punctuation mark, this is called enjambment. Okay, it has been used throughout the poem. That's all for today. Thank you.